Hello guys and welcome back to the channel. In this video, we will see a sci-fi action movie from 2014 called Lucy. The story is about a young girl who suddenly obtains super physical and mental capabilities after being overdosed from some sort of drugs thrown into her stomach. This movie revolves around a theory that humans only use 10% of their total brain capacity, and humans can achieve more if they know how to increase this usage. If you haven't watched this movie yet, spoiler alert. The story begins in Taipei, Taiwan. The main character is Lucy. Her boyfriend Richard is a drug mule. He asks Lucy to deliver a briefcase to someone in a hotel. When Lucy refuses, Richard suddenly handcuffs Lucy's hand to the briefcase. Having no choice, Lucy finally goes to the hotel lobby. She hopes the handcuffs will be released once she delivers the briefcase. Not long after, a group of South Korean gangster members pick her up at the lobby. But suddenly, one of them shoots and kills Richard, who stands in front of the hotel. The gangster grab her and forcefully bring her to the hotel room. Lucy meets a Korean drug lord named Mr. Jang. Mr. Jang is an evil and sadistic drug lord. He just finished torturing and killing 2 people in the hotel room. He asks Lucy to open the briefcase, but before that, all the gangster members take cover. They are worried that the briefcase might be filled with explosives. Lucy opens the briefcase carefully and finds 4 packets of highly valuable synthetic drugs. These drugs called CPH4, a substance that occurs naturally in women during their 6th week of pregnancy. The gangster put a bag of drug inside Lucy's body by sewing them into her abdomen. They asked Lucy to smuggle the drug to Europe. It turns out that this is how the gangster transfers their drugs around the world, by choosing victims, putting the drugs into the stomach, and sending them away. Lucy and other 3 men are now acting as drug mules, aiming at 4 different countries in Europe. Before Lucy travels to Europe, she is held in captivity by the gangsters. One of the henchmen kicks her in the stomach. The hard blow from the kick breaks the back and release a large quantity of CPH4 into Lucy's body system. Unexpectedly, instead of killing her from overdose, this drug gives Lucy enhanced physical and mental abilities, such as telepathy, telekinesis, mental time travel, and even the ability not to feel pain. She also becomes ruthless and emotionless. Using her new abilities, she kills the gangster member and escapes. Lucy travels to a nearby hospital to get a bag of drugs removed from her stomach. She now also has the ability to tell her brain not to feel pain. She asks the doctor to operate her without anesthetic. She calls her mother. Her brain is able to remember everything in her past with very minute details. Lucy can even still feel the taste of her mother's breast milk. Lucy returns to Jang's hotel, kills his bodyguards, and stabs Jang in the hands. She interrogates Jang, asking where did he send the other 3 men. Lucy telepathically extracts the location of the 3 remaining drug mules from Jang's brain. Now Lucy begins researching her condition and contacts a scientist named Samuel Norman. Samuel Norman is a neurologist whose research may be the key to save Lucy. Norman is currently researching the human brain capacity and ability. He believes that average human only uses 10% of their brain capacity. Humans can achieve more fantastic ability if they are able to unlock and use their brain on more than 10%. He flies to Paris and contacts a local police captain, Pierre Del Rio. Lucy asked him to help her find the remaining 3 packets of the drug. Lucy gave him the details of the drug mules, and the police captain managed to capture all 3 mules. During the flight, Lucy consumed a sip of champagne, which causes her cells to disintegrate. To stop this disintegration, Lucy consumes more of the drugs. After the police managed to capture all the remaining drug mules, the Korean gangster member stormed into the police station, trying to recover their drugs. Lucy arrives and she defeats all the gang members effortlessly. She lifts them into the air and paralyzes them. Lucy finally meets Norman and his colleagues. She agrees to share everything she knows. In the professor's lab, Lucy discusses the nature of time and life. Lucy then decides to inject all the content from all the 3 remaining bags of CPH4 into her body. Her body changes into a black substance that begins spreading over computers and other electronic objects in the lab. And those electronic devices transform into a next-generation supercomputer. With her current brain ability, Lucy begins a space-time journey into the past. She eventually reached the oldest discovered ancestor of mankind. She touches her fingertips, then goes all the way to the beginning of time. Lucy witnessed the Big Bang. She reveals all the mysteries of the universe. Meanwhile, Jang and his men storm the university where Lucy hides. They got involved in a shootout with French police who guard the entrance to Norman's office. Jang finally managed to enter the lab and points a gun at Lucy's head. He shoots, but by then, Lucy has already reached 100% of her brain capacity. Lucy disappears into thin air. Only her clothes and the black supercomputer are left behind. Del Rio enters and fatally shoots Jang. Norman takes a black flash drive offered by the supercomputer, after which it disintegrates. Del Rio asks Norman where Lucy is. Suddenly, his cell phone rings and he sees a text message. That is the message that Lucy gives to Del Rio. She has now become a transcendent being. Thank you guys for watching. Be sure to subscribe to this channel. We have more story plot coming for you.